seems like all parties are
45.
in agreement that 45 is a reasonable time
So
frame.
what your motion could be,
Is as long as possible,
Yeah.
out as far as possible. I mean, if 45 doesn't get us coming back to another commission meeting, then 60 would probably be better. I mean, ultimately, mortgage companies trying to get the property back so they can fix it. That's probably the best case scenario, right?
well, I mean, what you could do is subject to them being able to serve the owner at that point.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily a timeline, it's just when that happens.
Mr. Norton, you'd like to speak?
Dax Norton, Town Manager, Town of Whitestown. This is probably one of the most important items you're going to have on your agendas for this year and next, because we've worked incredibly hard to take an area which has been economically depressed for 40 years. Owners that, quite frankly, have stopped caring about some of the homes, and we cannot allow this to happen any longer. This means, the Town of Whitestown means business if you're going to allow a home to sit and end up looking like this one does. Don't do it. So please take into account what you're deciding here. And I understand time is great, but let's just hope that 60 days doesn't turn into 90 again, and that this house through the winter becomes even more rat infested than it already is on our main drag, and we don't deserve that, okay? People need to take care of what they have, regardless of whether somebody's living there or not. So set a good precedent for us, please, because we're working as a staff incredibly hard to get rid of this problem. And I think it's working. I think it's working. This area is coming back to life economically. People are buying homes and fixing them up. We've got to take care of these that, for some reason, have fallen through the cracks, and the current owners just do not care about, and we are not going to put up with that any longer. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion from the commission?
Is there anyone here that lives around the property to speak, or?
No. I mean, I guess I like thinking about it. I do like the idea of instead of putting a time frame on it, making it subject to actually being able to serve the owner. If that's our, I mean, if that's,
But not to exceed, say, 60 days or so?
Yeah.
can't serve,
yeah,
Right.
what happens then?
yeah. Can you, I guess, come up and answer that? If you're unable to serve the owner, the property owner, what is the?
So what the publication would do is that would constitute service. So you put a publication in the newspaper.
Okay.
Really, it's kind of like a last ditch effort
Yeah.
we do. You know, you try to serve. The sheriff can't find them. They're not accepting certified mail. So last ditch effort. What you'll do is you serve by publication. So that does constitute good service.
Okay.
So yeah, under the rules. So and once we do have the hearing and if the findings made, if the orders, the actual order itself does run with the property. So even if the property owner changes, it's going to be on there as you know, it's going to follow. It's not going to distinguish once the property changes ownership. So yeah, I think we would request that, therefore, that it is as soon as possible, as quickly as possible, as we could get the notice on file and get that done, and then we could set another hearing. I don't think there's really any need right now to set any time frame on when the next hearing may be. I mean, we could move forward, I would assume, outside at another time, you know, not in front of the entire commission.
And so, is there any discussion around the not to exceed time frame?
What's the time frame already, Dave, that you've been dealing with this property?
Typically 30 days.
So how long has this one been?
This started in July.
Yeah, I'd say not to exceed 30 days
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, which would
I'm
would
okay
come
with
into
passing the ordinance as it's written.
Yep.
Okay.
I would make a motion to do so.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. And that is as written in the staff report. Thank you. Moving on to our next item, which is our 2017 meeting schedule. And looking at it, it seems like it kind of follows the same general structure.
Yeah, there's a few days bumped up here and there, but the meeting schedule will still be the second Monday of each month.
Okay.
So submittal days may vary, but
Is this some, Is this something that we need to vote on to formally approve? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2017 Whitestown Planning Commission meeting schedule as shown.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. And lastly on our agenda, there is some other business, which is an LED lighting amendment.
Yes, it is brought to our attention that some buildings want to use LED lighting as a energy conservation tool, but some of the blue tinted lights are a little too bright, and so we don't have anything specifically in our ordinance that sets a certain lumen threshold, and so we might want to look at that, and I think we should probably get something put together soon.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Because as we're growing, a lot more commercial, industrial buildings are coming up, and so
Yeah.
they'll limit that.
It seems to
Even
me,
though they're downlit, they're still
Yeah.
very bright.
and it seems to me, I mean, it's their right to use a more energy efficient lighting source, and we
Right.
should probably encourage that, but not at the expense of surrounding property owners.
Right.
Lauren, has there been any, I don't know how I personally feel about it, but zero lumens at the lot line or any kind of discussions about that too, that you've seen in surrounding municipalities?
I still have to do a little bit more additional research about it and see what other communities do,
I
but they
personally
do
don't know if it's
have,
good or not, but, or, you know,
at the lot line,
advantageous.
I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure.
I've seen
Yeah.
that quite a few,
It's typically not zero, but it's
limited to it.
very limited.
Sure. An X amount percentage can only flood out.
Just a foot
It
candle
may be
limit.
appropriate for the commission to direct staff to prepare an ordinance amendment on this point. And can we get it ready for the next month?
You try.
That's all we can ask.
Committal.
All right?
Give it your best shot. Maybe that's not something we need to vote on, I assume.
If you want to leave it at staff's discretion, then don't vote on it. If you want to insist that the
Force your
staff
hand.
have it ready, then vote on it.
I'm happy to force you.
I'm happy to leave that as staff's discretion.
Yeah, I trust you.
Agree.
Where are we on Rex?
That's it.
We are scheduled to have a meeting with them,
Tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock.
yes.
Wow.
So we're hopeful that we'll have a game plan as a result of that meeting. So far, the discussions have been very friendly with the owners. But they've had some trouble getting organized to respond to our request. But we are definitely meeting with them tomorrow afternoon. So we'll report on that to you next month.
Wonderful. Any other announcements?
I do want to note, in our last meeting, we had the discussion about public notices and what other communities might do, because 600 may not be enough. Looking at, I'm just going to throw a couple of these out. Avon is 660, Noblesville is also 660, Lebanon is 300 feet away, Plainfield 600, Carmel, Brownsburg 660. So we're in that
Yeah.
general area.
Mhm.
So
And just to confirm, I think it reads, we've talked about this.
a lot of these were or two parcels deep,
Yes.
or
And
two
I would,
property owners
I would
deep.
personally, being a civil engineer doing this, it's usually or. In our standards now, the application says or, but if you go to the code, it says and. That's a very different thing when you're surrounded by apartment complexes. And for instance, the New Hope Church, we had to notify over 200, I believe, which otherwise it would have been 40 or 50, which some of that had to do with apartments and otherwise. There's a discrepancy. That's why I'd like to see or. But
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
Yeah, a lot of
my
these
opinion.
other communities have or, so we want to just,
So it seems to me what we're doing is at least equivalent. I mean, you're talking 60 feet from most of our neighboring communities.
We will bring to you next month a couple of alternatives, which you may then consider at the time. But I don't know if we have a direct response as to what staff would recommend, so we may just bring you a couple of
Yeah.
alternatives.
I mean, it's good to know, though, what, I mean, our largest neighbors are doing, and then the fact that what we're doing is potentially more
yeah.
I don't know how many
invasive.
people actually follow. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some confusion in it.
Fair enough. Wonderful.
Yep.
Seeing no other announcements, we can adjourn our meeting at 7:18.
I would just make
Oh,
one other
maybe not.
point in regard to the presentation earlier.
Yeah.
It may be appropriate for the commission to consider an amendment to the comprehensive plan, because it seems to me that what is being proposed is similar to a PUD. And the comp plan currently does not show that area for PUD. It shows the 9 nodes that were originally in the comp plan for PUD specification, so that's something we may want to consider.
And that's the thing about that comprehensive plan, was that it's a living, breathing document, so as the town changes, we should be apt to changing stuff like that. And honestly, throughout this discussion with our comprehensive plan, trying to get it organized and down to where it is right now, we had the major conversation about recreation space, open space, utilizing that, preserving the agricultural space, so, I don't know, I'm receptive of it.
If commission members are also receptive, then would you like us to prepare a comprehensive plan amendment? Would be that map that shows where all those nodes are that are suggested for PUDs?
At least start the process to,
Is that something we can get ready next month?
Probably not, I'm gonna be honest.
December?
I'll try.
But by January at the latest.
That sounds good.
Perfect. All right. Now at 7:19, we will adjourn our meeting.
19.
Thank you.
So